I grew up in an orphanage. My parents were taken away from me when I was young. I was always a shy kid and hardly talked to anyone. I instead used video games as an escape from reality. Growing up, I always considered myself a lone wolf. I just never fit in. You know, I always respected wolves. They reminded me of a family that I was never able to have. I learned how to program during the dawn of the internet. As the internet evolved and I got better at coding, I decided to work on a project and created an online virtual home that I called the Command Center. Over time, I began research into if it was possible to connect the human consciousness to a computer program. I eventually created a new headset to do just that, but I just never had a chance to give it a test run. When I turned 18, I was thrust out of the orphanage and into reality. I lived day in and day out doing the same thing over and over. The pay was fine. The work, however, was soul-crushing. After a few years, corporations began to take over the country. The 1% held over 99% of the country's wealth. As I watched the country fall apart and riots in the streets, I decided I could use my skills for a greater cause than minimum wage. Thus, I quit my job and began hacking some of the most corrupt corporations in this country. I would drain some of their assets, keeping only what I needed to survive, and donating the rest across the country. I became one of the best hackers in the country, even if no one knew my name. I kept this up for a few more years until one day, I just got sloppy. I hacked the wrong corporation, and they sent some people to track me down. I moved from place to place, doing my best to avoid them and lay low. One day, I slipped up, and they caught up with me. Without any other solutions, I was forced to finally test out the headset that I made so many years ago. I just prayed that it actually worked. I put the headset on, knowing that it would either fry my brain or it would actually work. Either way, it would surely be an easier way out than dealing with the people that were after me. I connected it to the command center build on my PC and hit the transfer button right as I heard pounding on the front door. The next thing I knew, I was standing inside the command center. It worked. It actually worked. I was ecstatic until I realized my body now lay dead in my computer chair where I plugged in from. I would now live forever in solitude inside the command center that I built. But all was not lost. Now, I had all the time in the world to play my games, and I could even continue dealing out justice on the side. So now here I sit in my new home, in my new life, playing games for the internet. I may or may not do a little bit of hacking from time to time, but you'll never be able to prove it was me. So, I ask you again, if you had the chance to upload your consciousness to the net to get away from everything, would you do it? I know I would.